Hi, I'm Captain Steve Chaconis, and welcome to the National Bass Fishing Show. I talk to a lot of anglers of various skill levels on my boat and at the dock and doing seminars and wherever I run across people who fish. And I get asked the same questions. Gee, I want to get better. What do I have to do? And so about 25, 30 years ago, I came up with what I call the fishing triangle, okay? I used to be an algebra teacher, and so like a lot of the things I do are based on math. So I'm going to show you my fishing triangle today, okay? That's a triangle, okay? I'm already over the heads of most bass fishermen, but look, that's a triangle. And I've got 3 levels. The first level, okay, is a skill level you have to develop called casting. Casting skills, because casting is the most important part of bass fishing. You could have all the lures in the world, but if you can't cast, you won't be able to catch. So before you buy a bunch of lures and do all this stuff, get yourself a rod and reel and learn to cast. Spinning rods, the best way to start. Recommend 2 spinning rods for you. If you're just starting off and you only want one, get a 6'6", medium heavy spinning reel, a 2500 or 3000 series. Spend about $100 or more and get that reel. That's a 6'6". If you're going to get a second one, get another 6'6" and get a medium action. After that, sky's the limit. You can be like me and have rods everywhere, but generally those are the first 2 to start with. Bait casters, about the same thing. The taller you are, the longer the rod. If you're a short person, you want a shorter rod. Shorter rods are more accurate. Longer rods give you distance. Spinning rods generally handle lighter line. Bait casters can handle heavier line. Braid has changed all that because now you can have a spinning reel with 20-pound test. And you don't have to go to a bait caster for that. Learn how to use the combinations of line. You have a copoly. I use gamma lines. I use their copoly, it's like a monofilament. I use their edge fluorocarbon, and I also use their torque braid. I like braid with spinning reels, okay? So put like 10, 15, or even 20-pound test braid and tie a fluorocarbon leader to that. I usually start my leader about 5 inches from the tip of the rod. Okay, so now that we got our rod and we're out there practicing our casting, I've done a lot of videos. You can look at those. Pitching, sidearm, overhand, skipping, all these things you need to do with these rods and reels. Then it's lure presentation. Okay, so lure presentation. And lure presentation is really important because fishing lures don't catch fish. Fishing lures catch fishermen. And that's what you have to become aware of. So learn how to use the lures. So after we learn to cast, we're going to learn our presentation. And that's how we make the fish bite. You've got to make the fish bite. Sometimes it's by the speed. Sometimes it's a pause. It's a twitch. It's a pull, or it's a complete stop. There are a lot of things that you could do in different presentations. Every lure can be fished differently. Okay, so learn the different presentations of your baits. Now, hook sets. Hook sets are so important. So we're going to go up here to hook sets. And hook sets are important because if you get a bite and you don't set the hook properly, then you're not going to catch the fish. All right, so learn the hook sets. And the hook set, you have to learn the different bites for each type of bait. It's different for a crankbait than it is for a jig. It's different on a plastic worm than it is Carolina rig. It's certainly different on a topwater, and the hook sets are different on a popper than they are on a frog. So you have all these different hook sets, but you have to recognize the bite first and then learn the appropriate hook set. That could take us hours to go through every single one. Perhaps that's a good idea for another video. After that, now it's what I call angling skills, and that is getting the fish to the boat. So angling skills, and when I say getting the fish to the boat, you could have fish jumping on you and making runs. So what I call another triangle, folks, another triangle, the fighting triangle. When that fish is a long distance away from you, you want that rod pointing to the top of that triangle. You want to be getting that fish to the boat, not straight up in the air, but you want to have the rod pointed at that fish and work him. Now you're seeing the fish start to go to the right. You want to pull him to the left. If he's going to the left, you want to pull him to the right. If you see that line angle starting to flatten out, that means he's getting ready to jump and getting ready to make you say some very bad words. So what you want to do when that line angle starts to get closer, you want to reel fast, lower the rod, and keep that rod closer to the water and not let that fish get any elevation so they can throw the hook. You get the fish to the boat, you could use that rod. I also have another measure. It's the length of the rod. That's how long the line should be when you're fighting a fish at the boat. Shouldn't be any shorter, and it shouldn't be any longer. When you get it right there at the boat, use that rod and the length of the line, and you can maneuver that fish. If he starts to run and you've got a little bit of line to play with, you've got the rod action to play with, now you can get down, lip the fish, hold it up, get your picture taken, smile, because you love it, right? That's angling skills. And now the very tip of this triangle is right here, and this is a very important one. That's hook removal from you and the fish. Don't hook yourself when you're landing a fish. If you're going to land a fish that's got treble hooks in his mouth, belly land them. If you don't know what I mean, again, probably another video. You put your hand under the belly of the fish. You get that fish, put your hand underneath the belly of the fish, and you can bring that fish in. And now when he's calm, you can reach in, grab the lip, and then get the hooks out. If you have a gut hook fish, again, another video probably, but basically with a gut hook fish, if you're looking at his eyes and you have a hook in him like this, bend the eye of the hook towards his tail, put your finger under the bend of the hook, push the eye of the hook, pull, and that hook will come out of that gut hook fish. If you get a hook in you, the first thing you want to do is get the hook in your hand away from the fish so you don't inflict any further pain. If it's a treble hook, you want to remove the other hook that's on the bait, like a crankbait, cut off the other two hooks so that you don't also end up getting something worse. If you can remove the hook from the lure, so much better. There are also hook removal techniques out there that allow you to be able to snap that hook out. So there you go. I call it the fishing triangle. It's a good way to teach people how to fish. Go through every one of these levels. Go through the casting, go through lure presentation, go through hook sets, angling skills, and hook removal. And you'll have a better time out there. Also be able to teach someone else how to pass these skills on. I'm Captain Steve Chaconis. Thanks for watching us. And hey, subscribe. Because if you subscribe, all these other videos that we talked about doing, well, you're going to see them because we'll notify you. Please tell your friends about us. Thanks for watching.